Okay, so my name is Maria Ölund and I am the project coordinator of Focali, the Forest Climate and Livelihood Research Network based at the Center for Environment and Sustainability in Gothenburg. And I've been the project coordinator of Focali since 2012. I bumped into Focali in Burkina Faso while doing some field research on the role of forests and trees for local household economies and food security. And I've been on maternity leave for a bit more than a year, so it's actually my stand-in, Maria Gothenburg, who is the expert on what happened in the last period. But I will try to present, and if you have any tricky questions, just contact Maria. Okay. So. Den liksom laggar den lite. So, for those who don't know about Focali, we're a transdisciplinary research network launched 2008, and today we are 53 researchers from a broad range of both natural and social sciences, as well as a broad range of universities across Sweden. And we're not only researchers, we actually have, from the time when we had a formal collaboration with the Swedish Forest Agency, we have members from that agency, and we have Jesper Karlsson, who is in the room, who's working at FAO on land tenure issues. So we have, and we are also opening up our network to more people working in other sectors, but on science-based issues within our field. And we have a very small secretariat that are working both to keep the network meeting a few times a year, both internal network meetings and seminars, internal newsletters, and sharing what we do through our external channels as well, and like homepage and newsletters, and our own briefs. And these are some of our members. I couldn't fit all 53 in there, but perhaps you recognize some of the faces. And it's really our members that make up the foundation of Focali, and it's our network out in the reality across the globe into these different topics that sort of suck up the nutrients into our body, Focali. And this is also the foundation that the Focali SIANI collaboration builds upon. And for a long time, we have known, surprised, that you can't divide forest and agriculture into two silos. There are so many synergies and trade-offs between forest and agriculture, and many in Focali are working on how to reduce deforestation and also the role of agricultural production, consumption, and trade for tropical deforestation, and we recently published a brief on that, saying that agriculture, commodity consumption and trade are responsible for over 40% of tropical deforestation. So you can dig into that if you want to know more on how they came to that figure. And another topic that has been a long focus for Focali researchers are the role of trees in the landscape, and with a particular focus on multifunctional agroforestry systems. And this awareness that you can't separate forest and agriculture is really the foundation why we came together and started the collaboration long before the theme started. We had a joint event in 2012, and we made a contribution on the role of forests and trees for food security on a landscape level to a FAO dialogue right before the formal collaboration started. And during our collaboration that formally started in 2013 in the autumn, but kicked off in 2014, we've had a lot of different opportunities for multi-stakeholders, events and dialogues, and SIANI with its own network with branches out to different sectors that we didn't have that much connection with has really helped to disseminate the nutrients coming from our network here. And different activities has also branched to new branches over the year. So one thing has led to another. So I'm here to present 2015, but as you know, trees grow slowly, and it can sometimes be more important to back off and zoom out and see what happens in a longer time perspective. So I will mention what we've done in 2015, but also see linkages between something we did in past years. And how these past events have led to nutrients falling to other actors and contributing to their growth. And then we also have, of course, we can't trace everything. As Matthew said, there are so many visitors at the homepage and tweets and blogs, and so I will mention some things that we can trace, but others we can't see the whole picture. And as Anders has mentioned as well, both Focali and SLU Global has been a part of this cluster group at CV, looking at water and forest. And within the theme contributed to a seminar at the Environmental Protection Agency in Stockholm that then has in different way inspired and contributed to these other follow-up workshops, as the World Water Week, where the result from the cluster group was presented in the brief and a report, and the participation at the World Forestry Congress in Durban. And our theme was not a co-arranger of this seminar at the Global Landscape Forum, but outputs from the cluster group where we participated in contributed to this dialogue. In Lund, our member Torsten Krause, here to the right in the picture, arranged a workshop on building partnership with forest communities. That besides the important meeting between private sector actors and research and public actors on how we can move away from looking at forest communities as recipients for money to protect forest, to build more genuine partnerships with them for protection of the forest as well as local livelihoods. And this workshop has led to, Torsten wrote a blog, and the workshop participant has also written a brief that will soon be published with the key findings from this workshop. And both Torsten and Toby provided input on this topic to Katarina here, who wrote a blog for the Global Landscape Forum homepage on the topic. And as both Matthew and Anders said, we've also been involved in the Agroforestry Congress, as usual, at SLU. So I don't have to dig deeper into that one. I think you all know about it. And two policy briefs that have been produced in our theme this year. One is the Interpretation Matters, exploring the policy outcomes on competitive vulnerability framings in rural Burkina Faso. And it's really about how one understands vulnerability and the role of trees and agroforestry and sort of forest-dependent communities, how one understands that, shape how policy and development programs are formed. Is this a good thing? Should they stick to being forest-dependent, or is that unsustainable? Are there other ways that are more desirable? So, and then this brief, you can access all publications on the theme webpage. Can agroforestry address food security concern in a changing climate? This brief is the key messages, key findings from a workshop held in 2014 with the same name. And this workshop that we held in 2014 has led to a lot of different side activities or new activities and inspired other actors as well. So this is one example of something we do in 1 year, provides nutrients to the next years and other actors. And one a bit, this shows we can't know everything what will happen from our activities. And in 2015 we were hosting a conference or an Agroforestry Congress together with the city of Gothenburg, both Focali and SIANI, and the organizers from the city of Gothenburg, they clearly stated that this conference was arranged in Gothenburg. One of the main inspirations had been that they had participated in our workshop on agroforestry in Gothenburg the autumn before. So this was a big event with many new actors for us, and we contributed on bringing perspectives from the international arena to Sweden. And this Congress looks a lot on how agroforestry can be implemented in the Swedish context. And in one area called Angered, outside of Gothenburg, the city of Gothenburg have areas for urban farming and agroforestry. And this Congress that our activity inspired to has then in turn inspired the formation of a national platform in Sweden for agroforestry, which has its launch event in February, and also a regional platform in Gothenburg. And one of the purposes of this is using agroforestry and urban farming for social integration in Gothenburg, which is a very segregated city. And coming to the end of the year, we participated in the Global Landscape Forum in Paris. And we had a joint booth together with SLU Global and SIANI. We produced, that was something we did in addition to the plan, 14 short films with Focali members that we screened in the booth, but also shared on Twitter. And we co-hosted this small seminar in our pavilion with SIANI and Fairtrade. And to just look into 2016, you can see that some things that we have done in 2014 continue to inspire what we do ahead. And some people that met at the 2014 workshop, they are planning to focus on the theme of agroforestry as a measure to reduce climate-related risk in upland communities in Southeast Asia. So this shows that we have a thread over time in the landscape. So thank you. We have really benefited from this collaboration, and we have got more contacts, and we look forward to continue our collaboration with SIANI and SLU Global, and also this new Agri4C program.